Here's what happens in this scenario. You're really pissed off at your husband right now because
Gary V showed me.
Over a 3-year period, you and your husband turned a side hustle selling virtual art classes into a full-time company. You and your husband have complementary skills, which has led to a successful 50-50 partnership. And as a result, the business has rapidly grown to $300,000 in revenue. However, your husband is now happy with where the company's at, while you have ambitions to grow it to 7 figures and beyond. So what do you do there?
All right, so I think the first thing you have to deploy in this scenario is empathy. Like the thought that any two people should have the exact same wants and needs, and more importantly, forever in parallel with the same level of cadence is impossible. Here's what happens in this scenario. You're really pissed off at your husband right now because on day one, when you sat down and talked about the virtual business, you both agreed that you were going to take it to the moon and it was going to do $5 million a year. What your husband now has is new data. With new data, your husband knows that he's more anxious. Your husband knows that, wait a minute, I've been working my whole life. This side hustle is now paying. And guess what? I want to enjoy this a little bit. Like, I'm happy that we're making $180,000 in profit on this 300. And instead of reinvesting it to get us to $1 million, I want to go to fucking Disneyland with the kids. And I don't want to stay at the fucking Holiday Inn. I want to stay at the fucking Grand, I don't know, fucking Disney. The thing that fucking is awesome and on its own beach and fucking Mickey comes to your breakfast. You don't have to fucking find Mickey. And so you need to have empathy. On the flip side, you have to have self-awareness. It's okay that you want to take it to 7 million. You're like, cool husband, John, but I want to fucking buy Disney. And that's okay. And so whether this is with a husband or with somebody else, you have to deploy empathy. You have to start in that place because what that does is it leads you into a better place energy-wise to the conversation. Because what happens in this crossroad is the conversation. And what you have to do is you have to be self-aware to your own ambitions. You have to be accountable. You have to deploy accountability of like, what can I do about this? And it's not about convincing your husband to go there. It's about creating some sort of framework. It also takes a heavy level of humility. Let me explain why. You just sit down with your husband and you decide to hire someone to do what the husband wants because the husband wants to take a break. If you deploy humility there and say, I would have never gotten to this point without my husband, you know, because you could see exactly where this goes in the negative. You hire Johnny or Sally. You're paying them $60K. At first you're fine because it's kind of cool. You got through this one path. But 7 months later, you're fucking burning the midnight oil. You're walking in the living room after putting the kids to bed to work again and you're fucking tired. And you walk by your husband and he's playing Call of Duty. Why humility matters, if you're humble to say I would have never gotten here, if you're humble and think about what your husband's doing to help the kids be happy, what people don't do is they don't look at the complete picture. They get themselves into a box around the business. And so I think humility really matters.